Like if you put your foot down, it goes. Yeah, and that's the camera gone. See, the torque of this is so immense. Scout is dead. We went to the scrapyard today. So what did I buy instead of the Scout? Well, if you haven't figured out by this, or by the sign of the engine, let's have a look. 2008 Volvo XC70. $228,000 miles on the clock. Beige interior. It's quiet. And so far the only thing I noticed that's broken is the boot. The power gate doesn't work. Oh, it's so cool, I'm getting back in. I love that heated seat. The doors are like tank. Got a sunroof that actually works. It's got snow on it now, so I'm not going to open it. The one thing I had to get used to is the key not being in the column, you know, but you have to put it in a slot. Obviously not going to start it yet, but I like those floating needles. Like they just, you know, for a car that was designed in 2008, they took, like it looks so much better than everything else that came out that era. It just looks, it still looks quite modern, like classy if I say. Dual zone climate, loads of cars had it in that era already, but like none of the interiors aged that well like this one. This one still doesn't look old. Like interior is super comfy to be in, especially like in the front seats. You've got heated seats, so many positions you can put it in. The driver's seat is power adjusted, and the key itself, you know, it's got the alarm button. If you hold it, it will start flashing and beeping. This one's to turn your lights on and off outside, so when you're looking for a car in the car park, you just press this and your lights will come on. Lock and unlock, and your boot. You know, this was quite a step up in the car keys in 2008. It's quick, but it's not fast. Gets to speed fine, but the Scout was much faster. The Scout I had was much faster than this, and it was way better on fuel. The Scout was averaging like 60 miles a gallon all day, every day, and this roughly is about 30 to 35. And to begin with, everyone says, oh yeah, they're practical and everything. Come on, the boot space is tiny. It is tiny compared to most of the States. Like, yeah, there is boot space, but it's quite shallow, if that makes sense. Everyone keeps raving about the Volvo XC70s, the D5 engine and so on, so I was like, alright, let's try and find one. And I found this one after a few days of scrolling. One owner, and the owner bought it on my 9th birthday. So I was like, okay, that might be a sign. So I bought it, serviced it, so on, you know. Blade XC70s of this shape even came with a 4-cylinder small engines, or you can even get the 2.5 petrol, you know, 5-cylinder. You could also find in the Mark II Focus RS. Correct me if that's wrong. So this is the most common one you'll get. It's the D5 Auto Box. And what can I say? Drives nice. The gearbox is a bit lazy, but you know, this gearbox was built for comfort, not for speed or nothing like that. So these use the Haldex Gen 3, if I remember correctly, 4-wheel drive system. So what the car is, it's front wheel drive, and when it senses loss of traction, it sends up to 50% power to the back. But you really need to keep on top of servicing of the Haldex systems. Loads of people skip that, and that will get costly really quick. That's the famous D5 5-cylinder diesel. It's quite rammed in there, so any work is quite pain to do on these, but you know, people say they're quite robust engines. There's nothing really to look out for, and this one's been taken care of quite well, so there's literally nothing wrong with the engine. It works fine. And one thing I actually really like about this car is how easy it is to replace light bulbs. All you do is pull these 2 tabs out and the entire headlight shifts forward, and you can just replace the bulbs, so you don't have to cram your hand behind anything. You don't have to go through a wheel well, you know. And just these little things, how they got covers, you know, you open this up and you get to your brake reservoir and so on. It's just, you know, they did make sure, like, they took the time to engineer everything in this engine bay, you know, to work as best as it can. So when you close, you can feel the weight of it. You know, everything's like solid. Like these cars were well known to be safe. Like when you search up Volvo XC70 on YouTube and press spacebar, the next thing that will come underneath it, like is crash compilations. This car was quite expensive when it came out, and you know, it shows like the build quality is there. Yeah, the interior does creak, but what car doesn't creak after covering 230,000 miles? And this car was very expensive, what I've had to read about when it came out. I believe with this spec, it was roughly 38,000 to 40,000 pounds, which was quite a lot of money. You could have an X5 or any other, pretty much any SUV you really wanted. So the gearbox is obviously very smooth, but once you really want to like set off the line quick, it gets confused. Or for example, you come to a stop quicker and you want to set off quicker again, it just doesn't know what to do, it gets confused. And now, and feel like a second delay until something happens. It like asks you, are you sure you want to speed up? And yet you keep your foot on the throttle. It's like, yeah, and then it goes. I mean, if this was a manual car, which are super rare to get in the XC70s, I reckon it will be a completely different car, but it will be still super thirsty. I can't even imagine what the 2.5 petrol is like on fuel. If the tax of 360 pounds and all the clean air zones coming in, I just don't see it. I mean, it's just, I don't know what this car could be good for. I reckon towing a caravan, you can tow to 2,100 kilos, and I think that's it really. So apart from being comfy, I don't really like anything about it that much. I mean, I do like the size of it, it's somewhat different. You don't really see them anymore on the roads. Yeah, I've done 75 miles and a quarter of the tank is gone. Like, obviously these cars were really safe. Literally, if you search on Volvo XC70, the first thing on YouTube that comes up is crash compilations, which is kind of morbid, but I think that means these cars are quite safe. But yeah, the car doesn't feel like it's done 228,000 miles. Literally, but one thing I was really surprised is that the steering is actually quite heavy. I was expecting it to be quite light. But I've checked the fluid, it's clear, it doesn't leak. So I don't know what's going on. I think that's just how it's meant to be. Yeah, it's not a sporty car at all. But if you've got, you know, 2.5 kids, you'll be doing just fine. I'd rather have this than any like a small SUV like a Qashqai or Duke, but I think I would go for the 2-litre engine. There's literally no point in getting the 2.5. Doesn't matter what people are saying online, there's just literally no need for the 2.5. Yeah, it sounds slightly different, but yeah, you're averaging what, 29 miles a gallon no matter how you drive it. So what did I get for like 2,500? I got a white and dirty car, cracked mirror and a broken power lift gate. Other than that, I think everything works. So far, what have I fixed this car? Well, I obviously changed the oil on it, oil filters and so on. I was expecting maintenance to be a bit more expensive than like a normal everyday car. It's about the same, it just takes a bit more oil. And it's quite simple as well. I was surprised how easy it was. Here there's a slight hump coming from the back. I think that's one of the brake calipers seized or wheel bearing, which is not a big issue. Right, they're not. I was expecting them to be a lot more expensive. They're only about £80 each. It's actually the first car that I've ever had with heated seats, which is actually quite nice. I need to turn up when it's getting sweaty. So everyone's raving about these engines, but to be honest with you, I don't really see it. 2.4, 5, yeah, it sounds slightly different, but I just don't see it. But yeah, it gets off the line quick. It's got plenty of torque. This can tow 2.1 tons. It averages, well, let's see. I'm actually on my way to go and fill up now. So I've done 371 miles on a full tank, which I believe is 65 or 70 litres, I'm not sure. I'm about to touch when it goes off with really like refill warning. The average 31 miles per gallon. So I'm going to go fill up all the way, and I'm going to do my own calculations to see what I'm actually doing. It was getting cold, so both the key fobs were saying when I put them in that the batteries are getting low, so I've replaced the batteries with some Duracell, and I think that was like £10 for 2 batteries. So maintenance, headlight bulbs and 2 batteries, so far I think it cost me like, let's see, 100 quid. It's got those stupid automatic handbrakes, but it's the opposite, the switch is opposite to what you expect it to be. Like, if you go manual handbrake, you pull it up to get it on. In this, you pull it up to take it off. Why? So I just filled up with 58.95 litres and I've covered 375.9 miles, which is 28.99 miles per gallon, 9.75 litres per 100 kilometres. So it's not good, it's not good. Obviously, the higher ride height is so much better over speed bumps and like crap roads that we have around here. Also the sidewall on the tyres, where is it? I think it's like 65 or something ridiculous. Like if you put your foot down, it goes. Yeah, and that's the camera gone. See, the torque of this is so immense that it ripped the suction cup off the windshield. So it's been 3 months since I bought the Volvo, and it's already getting sold. So it was pretty good 3 months with the car. I like it, I like the look of it, don't get me wrong, the car looks great, I love the look of it. It's just not for me anymore. I need something bigger for work, like boot wise, and you know, this is too nice for me, for my line of work. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them, and I'll see you in the next one. All the cam cover gasket, it was just leaking everywhere, so